Mimi naitwa Bakari Rugika. Baba yangu alihamia hapa mwaka 49 kufuata maeneo ambayo hawana watu wengi kutoka huko King. Hapa tulikuta vijiji vitatu, watu 7 tu, na ni wazee watu. Nyama ilikuwa kuna maduka, tunafanya kula nyama za porini tukiua, manake hawana akili kama waleo, walikuwa wengi.
These are the villages of Sharimagungani in northern Tanzania. Little has changed in the half-century since Bakari Arubika's father settled here. Villagers still don't have a reliable supply of water, electricity, a school, or medical facilities. They survive by subsistence farming, and all live below the poverty line. Yet this village, and dozens more across Tanzania, may be the setting for a technological revolution, one that uses mobile phones, email, and the internet as a means of reducing poverty.
The First Mile project is about trying to link farmers, people who live in rural communities, usually without any electricity, and trying to link them to the modern information communication world, and trying to ensure that they have connection, that they are linked to the net, that they can start making use of modern technology and the modern communication means to improve their own lives.
Quite often it's talked about upside down, as we would like to think of it. It's talked about as the last mile, where first of all telecommunications access reaches the big cities, and then it reaches the regional towns, and then it reaches the district towns. What we're looking at is people's development, so it's starting from the villages. It's trying to improve the resources, the standard of living of people in the rural areas. And so we like to think of it as the first mile, where it's connecting people from the villages into global communications.
Tanzania, in East Africa, is one of the poorest countries in the world. According to the United Nations, 1/3 of the country's population live below the recognized poverty line of $1 a day. As a former European colony, the country's fertile lands were developed into massive plantations. Today, the agricultural sector, made up of small farmers, continues to dominate. Improving the livelihoods of rural people would ultimately lift a large part of the population out of poverty.
The First Mile project is addressing 2 challenges. One challenge is the challenge of rural people's access to information and knowledge and communication technology. Another challenge is for them to sell the products they make.
Farmers are poor here because they have little choice over whom to sell their produce to or at what price. Disconnected from consumers and policymakers, they have no control over processing, storage, or transportation, as their produce moves along the market chain. Project organisers aim to change that by linking producers, traders, processors, and transporters together in market chains that reward all the participants fairly. But to do that, everyone must work together, something that hasn't happened in the past.
Udanganyifu kwa wale watu wakati upo. Mara nyingi tumegundua wanapokwenda labda kwa mfano kama himo, huwa hawaji kusema ukweli kwamba soko ni hili. Kwa sasa ili kuondoa ile njia moja muhimu ni kuunganisha nguvu zetu.
Wanavyochukua ushuru, kuna mahali pa kupangia, utapigwa. Siku moja ndiakisha mimi nilipigwa nikiwa na mimba, nikiwa na sanduku la maembe. Ilibidi nije nyumbani kwangu nimuite mume wangu akamjua huyo mwanaume aliyefanana na yeye anaitwa Lameki.
Everything is set up. So each player in the chain, whether they be the trader, the producer or the processor, is trying to enhance their own comparative advantage, their own economic slice of the pie, without thought of the consequence to the other player.
Distrust and unfair practices keep farmers poor. The Tanzanian government knows this. That's why it established a special program designed to increase rural poor people's food security and incomes by improving their access to markets. The first step involves encouraging farmers to form groups in order to strengthen their bargaining power. At the same time, the program is also investing in agricultural infrastructure, improving access roads, warehousing, market sites, and communications, which is where the First Mile project comes in.
Communication is very important to all the people in the marketing chain, because we say information is power and you can't have information without communicating.
This group of farmers is among 1,000 producer groups formed across the country. Twaha Abdallah Mweta is chairman of the group in Magadini village. In the past, with no other information to go on, local farmers were at the mercy of middlemen who set the prices. Now, Twaha receives updated market prices by mobile phone each day and posts them on a billboard in the village.
Ubao huu tunategemea kwamba utatupa faida nyingi, kwa sababu ubao huu tunategemea kubandika taarifa za masoko. Mazao yetu yanauzwa zaidi Dar es Salaam, na wafanyabiashara wengi wa Dar es Salaam wanakuja kununua huku sana. Kwa hiyo tunategemea baadaye tutakapokuwa tumepata taarifa za labda za masoko ya nje kama Dar es Salaam na wapi, tunategemea kuuza huko kuliko ambavyo ungekuwa hauna.
Linking up poor rural people across the country to mobile phone technology, email, and the internet is all part of the First Mile plan. Not an unrealistic goal, given the recent rise in the availability of communication technologies.
The conventional wisdom, mostly held in the north, is that rural people are either not ready or not able or willing to acquire for themselves modern information technology, mobile phones, internet, email access. The evidence today is shaking that conventional wisdom. The communication industry has rapidly expanded in Tanzania over the last two or three years. Mobile phones are penetrating deeply into the rural areas. So that conventional wisdom now is thoroughly out of date.
But effective communication isn't just about building microwave towers in the savannah or opening internet cafes. It relies on networks of people with relevant information to share. In the regions in Tanzania where the First Mile project is now underway, the greatest challenge is not access to the technology, but the willingness of local people to share information. At a First Mile workshop in Arusha in June 2005, producers, processors, transporters and traders, representatives from different groups in the market chain, face each other around a table for the first time.
Where are the challenges? What things need to be improved? These are all of the questions we need to understand together. One of the values of bringing these different people together is so that they can face each other's perspectives. And they can look each other in the eye. And they can see that behavior change alone can make money. There is money to be made in partnership in business rather than a myriad of competing small businesses. Behavior can go a long way to tackling the market dysfunctionality.
Over the next few months, participants from the workshop are expected to begin forging the links that will form their own market chains as they take a step down that first mile towards global communication.